Welcome everyone to another episode of Reese's Roundup. I'm your host, the Lightning Kid himself, and today, that's better. Russell Westbrook, the guy we never would have expected to have left the Thunder, has left the Thunder. In case you guys didn't know, Russell Westbrook has been traded to the Houston Rockets to reunite with James Harden. He was traded for Chris Paul, the 2024 and 2026 first round draft picks from the OKC Thunder. This is going to be a very fun NBA season. Guys, like most of my recent Reese's Roundup episodes, is this good or bad for the Thunder? Let's start with the Thunder. Obviously, this is going to be bad for their current situation. It's definitely good for their future. I can see that very much. They now have 15 first round picks in the NBA draft from now to 2026. So for the next 7 years, guys, the OKC Thunder will have one first round pick. I mean, they have like 3 first round picks over the course of the next 5 drafts. But for the next 7 years, they'll have conjured up 15 first round. But that doesn't even count the second round. They have 15 first round draft picks. That is insane. Now, obviously, we're not going to know if these guys are going to be the next LeBron James, Paul George, Russell Westbrook type players. But this is good, to like experiment and just see who is going to be what. I mean, their 2026 pick is in the 8th grade right now. That's how much, like, this is insane. So their future is definitely looking bright. It doesn't even have to be a good player, but the fact that they're going to just absolutely haul in all these young guys and they can just see who works and who doesn't. Like, they won't even have to worry about, if it's going to fail or not, because they have 14 other people that they can try out. So it's definitely going to be a good look for the Thunder's future. But as for right now, no chance. They don't have any hope of making the playoffs. These guys went from contenders to out of contention just from losing Russell Westbrook alone. I know Paul George was a big reason why they made it to the playoffs last season, but Russell Westbrook and Steven Adams were like their last hope of trying to make it back to the playoffs. Now that they don't even have Russ anymore, done deal. I feel so bad for Steven Adams now. I mean, the guy really gives it his all each and every single game, and to just turn around for 1 second and see that nobody else is there, I mean, it's going to be tough. They might trade him too, who knows? But, yeah. And I heard that Chris Paul isn't even going to play a single game for the Thunder. So this was definitely a bad look for their future. Obviously, Chris Paul's still a good player. He's a good point guard. He's what makes point guards, he's what gives point guards a good name. He can pass, he can score very efficiently when he has to. So to not even think about, trying to keep him, can you get out of here? Not even trying to think about keeping him is kind of like, what are you doing, OKC? But it seems like they're really looking to just the future. Like, they're really just looking to the future right now. They're not worried about Chris Paul. They're not worried about any of the young guys from any of the guys that are on the team right now that are past the age of 27. So if Chris Paul's not going to play for the Thunder, then it's obviously going to be a down years for OKC. So OKC fans, you're going to have to find a new team or just stick it out for the next 7 years. Now, Now, going to the Rockets, is this good or bad for the Rockets? You know, I thought about it for the last couple nights, and I'm undecided. I am, because it's really not much of a difference. Russell Westbrook isn't that good of a player. Like, look, don't get me wrong. The guy can ball. He can give you assists. He can give you rebounds. He can obviously give you points, but he's a stat stuffer. Will he coexist with James Harden? I don't know. You could have told me this, you know, not 9 years ago, but like 7 years ago when they played together. But you know, Russ ain't the same player he was back in 2012, 2011. I mean, now he's all about the numbers. And will that help the Rockets get into the playoffs, maybe even past the second round? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. But I just have no idea how these two are going to mesh together. I mean, obviously, this could end up, I don't think it'll be better. Let me just point it out. I don't think that the Rockets will be a better team than they were with Chris Paul. I think it'll either be the same, they'll be the same exact team, or they'll be worse. These guys are both ball-dominant players. I heard from one of my sources that Russell Westbrook and James Harden were the two highest players in the league last season in usage rate. That means these guys both need the ball in their hands 100% of the time. Will that work? Who's going to be willing to give up possessions for the other guy? I think between the two, it'll be Russ. Russ, because of, you know, Paul George and Kevin Durant, he's used to playing with a second star, and he knows how to give up his usage rate in order for, you know, those other guys to succeed. So I think Russ will, if Russ is willing to do that for James Harden, then it'll be okay for the Rockets. But I'm not sure, because James Harden is a different kind of player than Kevin Durant and Paul George. Like, Paul George and KD are willing to share. James Harden doesn't want to share. So I'm not too sure how this is going to work out between the two of them. How will that play out? Russ is definitely going to have to give up stat stuffing too if they want to succeed. The guy shot 29% from three-point range last season. 29% is pretty bad on a team that only shoots the three. So he's going to have to give up shooting for passing and rebounding. So he's really going to have to just like take over the point guard role and just completely ditch the player that he was last season and seasons prior in order for the Rockets to succeed in the future. Next, the Rockets will need to ditch the isolation heavy offense that they normally run. The Rockets are very ISO heavy, pretty much because of James Harden. If they give up that kind of play style for next season and look for like triangle type offense or just pass shoot or pass shoot, they'll be successful. The whole ISO kind of ball, like, that's not going to work anymore. Obviously that works in the regular season, but when they get to the playoffs, all they have to do is triple team Harden and it's a wrap. He has to learn to share, to you know, just really look for other guys to score. And everybody will say, oh, he's averaged, you know, 9-10 assists a game over the course of the last couple of seasons. But I mean, what good? I mean, stats lie, you know, numbers lie sometimes. Just because he passes it every now and again doesn't mean that he looks to assist every time he comes down the court, you know. So he's definitely going to have to change some of his ways in order for the Rockets to succeed and in order to play well with Russell Westbrook. And he'll have to do more off-ball too, because if Russell Westbrook is a ball-dominant player, then he's going to have to learn how to use Clint Capella for screens, or Eric Gordon, or, you know, like play through Eric Gordon and these guys do like crossing for me. I don't know, but he's going to have to do more off ball when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, when Russ has the ball in his hands, in order to create a space for, like, Harden plays, like I said, he's an ISO type player. The only way he can score is by having the ball in his hands and then, you know, doing something with it, rather than, you know, giving it up to Eric Gordon and then, you know, running around the court for about a minute and a half, and then you know, Eric Gordon passes it to him in the corner. Like, he has to be Steph Curry. Steph Curry's really, really good off ball because he goes through screens and everybody, you know, passes, and then by the time they get back to Steph Curry, he's in the corner or wherever, because, you know, the opposing team's defender was lost in 30 screens. So I think if Harden does that with Russell Westbrook, the Rockets will succeed. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. How will the Rockets succeed with Russell Westbrook? Let me know, and let me know what you guys want to see for the next video. I'm out. Peace.